Nyanza is one of the 8 provinces in Kenya. It is located in the southwest part of the country, around Lake Victoria. The province has 6 counties, namely Kisumu County, Siaya County, and Migori County. Others are Kisii, Homa Bay, and Nyamira counties. The region has a total population of over 5 million people. Out of this population, 3.4 million are children below 18 years. Many people living in this area depend on fishing as their main economic activity, while some have ventured into farming. HIV/AIDS in this region is high, with a prevalence rate of 15%. The widespread of the disease has led to an increase in orphans in the region. Many children are orphaned at a tender age. They are left with no one to call a mother or a father.
Regards the impact of HIV and AIDS in orphans in Nyanza, it has made quite a big of negative impact in the lives of many. As we can all recall, when AIDS started spreading in this region, people denied its existence and associated with different kind of taboos and myths. And therefore, when people did not accept, it reached a time that it just exploded. And when this exploded, many families remained with orphans in their midst, and they were not able to keep on supporting them.
We took a drive in various towns within the region to establish the exact impact of the disease. We arrived in Kobala village in Nyando district, approximately 30 kilometers from the lakeside city. On arrival, we meet 15-years-old Evans Otieno. Our visit here ignites hope for him. Despite his age, Evans is the sole breadwinner of his family. Apart from taking care of his 4 siblings, Evans is also nursing his bedridden grandmother. And this house, which was their only home, has been washed away by floods, forcing them to seek refuge in the nearby home. Evans now weaves sisal to enable him feed his family. 30 kilometers away from Kobala village in Kindube town, the scenario is the same. The area has over 5,000 orphans whose parents have died of AIDS. At Bala village, we meet 61-year-old Ellen Amolo. Helen had 2 sons and 1 daughter, but all of them have died. Many orphans in this village have now been registered in a nearby orphanage, where they get access to food, shelter, and education.
And we found out that there were so many children who had remained orphans. And 2000, we started by helping them, giving them food and clothing, and basically they used to go to various schools.
So another challenge we do face majorly is in terms of the clothing, because the pupils over here, since they are orphans, they are not able to get well of this equipment.
What is?
But because of the huge number of orphans in this region, this orphanage is unable to cater for all their needs. And due to lack of enough food here, many children scramble to at least get a taste. The food is served with less consideration of hygienic conditions. In the central part of Nyanza province, the situation is even more worse. Deep inside Karemo division in the now famous Nyanguma Kugelo village, wind of sorrow and gloom whirls around most homes. Many homes are deserted, and only heaps of graves are evident. HIV/AIDS has swept away most people in this township, and aged grandmothers, majority of them octogenarians, have now been forced to play the role of parents. 83-year-old Monica Were is one such grandmother. Her children died of AIDS, and now she has been forced to take care of the orphans. Monica strives to sell maize in the local market to get some money that she can use to feed her grandchildren. 6 o'clock early in the morning, 72-year-old Jane Okech, who lives in the same village with Monica, wakes up to prepare her grandchildren for school. Her sons died 4 years ago and left her with the heavy burden of taking care of the children.
The grandmothers, to some extent, as I said, the poverty level in Nyanza makes it even impossible to the grandparents to be able to support these orphans. In terms of having somebody who had elderly that could give advice or words of wisdom to the orphans, they can. But in economical support, it's very, very difficult to have them provide all what the orphans need if themselves as well are in needy and are not able to meet even themselves getting what they would have loved to have as a family.
Pendeza Africa, a non-governmental organization in the area, is supporting the grandmothers by organizing regular trainings on how best they can take care of the orphans.
Since the year 2007, we have been in partnership and they've helped us to implement various projects. We have had the loan program where each grandmother is given 5,000 shillings. Some are already in business, some use the money to start the business, and the surplus from the money they use to feed the orphans.
Many stakeholders within the region are now working hard to reduce the prevalence rate of the disease. And according to Dr. Charles Okal, the Provincial AIDS and STI Coordinator, a lot of progress has been achieved since the disease was declared a national disaster in 1999.
We have made an approach towards multi-sectoral work in this province. Everybody is involved in the HIV management and care. All sectors are involved, and we do realize that our activities are mostly accepted by the population in Nyanza province.
But Okal says despite the progress, they still face a lot of challenges.
The challenges that we are facing here is the level of staffing. Stigma is also a challenge, but with the time it's also getting reduced. Alternative care management is also posing a challenge. I hope you do appreciate that we did have the Loliondo type of activity, right, that diverted so many of our patients to Loliondo only to succumb to the HIV. Commodities for management of HIV is also a challenge. Now the Kenya government cannot provide everything. We have partners providing for us, but we have so many partners in Nyanza and actually giving us a wonderful support in the HIV program.
Wife inheritance, which is part of the Luo culture, has been cited as one of the major causes of the widespread of the disease.
But we still have pockets of culture, given evidence that we saw on the media recently about a Lego. We did realize there was a lady there who was supposed to be inherited and so on, whatever. We still have such pockets of culture in our midst. But this is why we have the community units and the community strategy to spell out some of these cultures.
Adera Osawa of the Luo Council of Elders warns the men and women practicing the act.
Been a notion that wife inheritance or liberatic union of a wife and a man is spreading the pandemic. What we say is that the wife inheritance is not being done in the way it was being done, because that was the way, the previous way, the former way was just to make a woman get a partner who would actually take care of her. And because biblically or naturally, you cannot actually control a person who is still at the tender age to disdain completely. It is impossible. And therefore, we have been appealing to them that this question of wife inheritance should be done, if it is necessary, be done according with a lot of caution. One, when the couple have agreed to stay, because you can't stop a person who is under 60 years of age, be he a male or a female, to stay lonely. That is natural demand, which we cannot stop. But if that is being done, then the couple should agree to visit the VCTs to ascertain that they are clean.
Male circumcision has been identified as one of the prevention methods. Scientific trials have shown that male circumcision reduces HIV infection by 60%.
When scientists were looking at what we call ecological data, looking at the pattern of HIV across various geographical regions in Africa and also within the countries, people noticed something interesting, that in areas where circumcision was high, the HIV prevalence tended to be low. And this was something scientists found to be very intriguing. Of course, people thought that there could be a lot of factors which could cause that. But then to really get to the bottom of this, there was need to do like what is called a randomized controlled trial, where you get two people who are essentially the same in terms of their, let's say, physical attributes, social habits, etc. And the only thing that would change was circumcision status, and then follow them up over a period of time. So studies were done in Kenya, here in Kisumu, in Uganda, southwestern Uganda, at a place called Rakai, and in South Africa, a place called Orange Farm, just outside Johannesburg, trying to look into this phenomenon. Of course, after follow-up, it was noted that circumcision was around 60% effective in preventing HIV.
Health experts in the region now says many men have now embraced the new prevention method.
So far, the province, despite some challenges during the initial startup, has done around 300,000 plus circumcisions. So we are on course towards meeting these national targets, but of course there are some significant challenges. Getting in older men to come in for circumcision has been difficult.
But Luo elders still oppose the idea of male circumcision.
Male circumcision would reduce the infection and reduce the danger of the pandemic. Unfortunately, the idea that came out of male medical circumcision was not actually comprehended well by the youth. They thought that once you are circumcised, you are now free, you can play sex wantonly as you want, without actually protecting yourself by abstaining, or if need be, use the condom. You are not using that. And therefore, of recent, we have learned that the pandemic is increasing again in the area, which is very, very bad news to us.
And as the region strives to fight the AIDS menace, many people are calling on the government to intensify its public awareness campaign and drug supply.
HIV/AIDS in Nyanza is real.
To abstain from wanton or sex activities.
Reporting for K24 from Kisumu County, my name is Baraka Karama.